Hey everybody, my name is Dwyght Mack with Mack's Moving Training. So we're gonna be doing a move and a pack today. But before we go in, there's just 10 basic rules that we just need to know before participating with this service. So number one, understand moving is a very, very stressful thing. The customer, they're uplifting their life from one location to another. They're having to call all these vendors and get all these suppliers in place so that basically they can make that transition. So their stress level is at the highest right now. We need to be a service provider that comes in and basically keep that stress level mitigated or very low. Come in as professionals and do our job the way we know how to do our job so that this customer is less stress during that move process. Number two, be on time. First impression is everything. You guys showing up outside of the window rubs the customer the wrong way. It messes up the rest of the move process. Even if you guys do the best job y'all can do, because one thing was off, this customer's mood is just off. Go up and beyond, be there before the time, as long as they're okay with it.
All right, y'all. All right. Welcome to another episode of Mornings with Movers. I'm Dwyght Mack with Moving Force. Um, and we have Cory Jeffrey's in the building with Get a Fix It Pal.
Yep. How's everybody doing?
As y'all already know, Cory's been a great friend of mine. And he's now here joining me as a co-host. So we here to turn it up, y'all. But yeah, Cory, what's going on?
Nothing much, man. Busy week. Kind of got some things rolling. Got some customers and some marketing going. Call center. So just getting back into the groove of day-to-day business operations.
Okay, okay. Um, Still waiting on this YouTube to redirect. It's taking a slow time. I done did the update, y'all. I done did it. Um, so yeah, no. Let me just check my. Here we go. Told you I have that major delay on computers.
Update.
Um, but yeah, nevertheless, if y'all missed it last week, me and Cory, we was going at it last week.
Labor rates, right?
He told this guy talking about, he think guys should be paid that unbillable time like the state. Yeah, you got to see if he the feds. You the feds?
Might be the IRS, Nah.
uh, but
Uh,
nah. So that was definitely a good topic last week for sure. If y'all had a chance, I definitely say read that blog on how to prepare for the busy season is going to be huge. Um, we got another blog that came out last week because they be dropping like those hotcakes at the restaurants. I mean pancakes for you young bucks, but hotcakes for the old ones. Um, but yeah, Cory, so tell us about the business. Like, what SOPs we got in place.
right now, just got the call center in place, got some mailers going out. So once they start calling in, it's a pretty simple process. You just sign up and book for your services, and then we just put you on a route. So right now, we're just waiting for the phones to start ringing and put some customers on the schedule.
Yo, that is crazy. Like you just by saying the phone's ringing just brought back great memories when our
Yeah. Oh,
phones
yeah.
wouldn't stop ringing.
Ah,
Uh,
man, tell me about it. I remember. Yeah, but I give you a perfect example. As we're talking about labor rates, so I had my lawn guy. He was supposed to go do a yard um, Tuesday, but he ended up being late. But the thing was, I paid him that morning before we even had a conversation, before anything was discussed. And he called me back. He was like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna be late to the job. Whatever, yada yada yada." But we had already told the customer that we would get the job this week. We didn't give like a specific date, a specific time, because we're outside. They're not really too concerned like it is with moving, right? With moving, you got to be there at the exact time. If you show up a minute late, now everything is thrown off in the customer's eyes. So here we gave the customer a window, and although the labor didn't work out as expected, the job still got done. So when we talk about labor paying people ahead of time or paying extra, like you said, you still got those obstacles where they may not show up, they may, etc. So yeah, just learning as I go.
yeah, no, you're definitely gonna learn the way. Anytime we dealing with people, we run into the issue of dependability factors.
Yep. And that's
Um,
one of them.
uh-huh. And no matter what type of service business we get into, it is what it is.
It is, yeah,
Just account for it.
yeah, you
Um,
got to.
but and it goes for the call centers too. Like even if you are a company where you're like, hey, we're not physically doing labor, but we need people on the phones.
Hmm.
Ability. Unless you're going with an AI call center where, the AI is making the calls and it sounds so real, they're good. But
Yeah,
it really only works B2C, not B2B. And because,
yeah,
we're talking about customers that don't have a directory, it's like, oh, press one to get to Jane or press two to get to Bob.
yeah.
You don't have that.
And even AI is still a little wonky because I called to schedule a car appointment one time, and as I was talking to the AI on the phone, you could actually hear the workings behind the AI. So where you would ask it a question, you would say, "Hey, can I schedule my appointment at this time?" And it'll say, "Okay, check an appointment time." And it should be quiet during that time or some hold music, but instead you hear customer requested this. Let me see if I can find an available time. Let me see if I can do this, that, the third, boom, 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 boom. And then it comes back and say, okay, I found XYZ, which from an engineering standpoint, you're not supposed to hear what's happening in the background, especially from a security standpoint, because if it spits out like a API key or something like that, or a password, or just whatever it's going through on the back end, that could be a security risk. So when you think about it, the AI from that perspective, especially as a business owner, and you want to implement AI. So just things to consider.
So I get what you're saying regarding that, but I think what it's doing is it's avoiding silence. Silence is a death killer. And I could be wrong,
Yeah. But
but
no, you're right because humans even put on hold music. Hey, Mister Such and Such, do you mind if I place you on a brief hold while I go look this up? So even with the AI, it should be a situation where it's let's just toss them some quick hold music. Or if you've already collected that customer's data and you know something about them, maybe you can spit out a particular marketing segment while they're on hold, right? So different ways you can play it. But the one thing people miss is if you don't test your AI and check it daily, you could, as quick as it could take you up, it could also take you down because something could stop working and you just don't know about it until it becomes, big enough. And then you got to go in and restructure, the AI for the calls or the chats or whatever, because that's what I'm going through right now. As I'm building out my chat bots and my AI chats for the phones, I'll go test it and it doesn't spit back the right, what you want to. So it's a lot of tweaking on
mm,
that app.
When your team isn't trained, mistakes happen. Jobs go wrong. Customers complain. And your business? It suffers. At Max Moving Training, we help moving companies like yours build strong, reliable teams from the inside out. From mover and driver training to sales, operations, marketing, and leadership, we give your people the skills to succeed. When everyone is trained, everything runs smoother and your business grows stronger. Training isn't optional. It's essential. Stop guessing. Start training. Join Max Moving Training today.
Yeah.
yeah, no, that makes sense. One of the things, um, one of the things that when I was setting up mines, they pretty much had you decide what type of background noise you wanted. Did you want like a call center background noise where you could kind of
Mm-hmm.
hear it look like
Yeah,
people
people
talking in the
talking in the
background?
background. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or did you, because you want to make it sound as real as possible?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. So there's many ways you can go with it. But like I said, it's you have to test it daily. Because like I said, it's still a computer, it's still AI, it still can mess up. So you want to make sure that it's not doing, like I said, with the when I was scheduling my car appointment, the AI was just talking about all the stuff it was doing in the background, which is usually, the back end stuff that's happening that customers don't know about or shouldn't experience. So
Hmm.
I'm sure they didn't. They just put it out and probably said, "All right, let's just put it out." We don't necessarily have to test it because we can watch the stuff that's happening on the back end. But still, like if you own a business, you should be calling your call center once a month or every couple of weeks just to make sure things are flowing like they're supposed to. You know that. So
Yeah,
even
and
in
I
the
think
AI perspective, it's kind of the same thing.
it's getting to the point where we could literally create our own AI phone bots if we wanted to put
Yeah,
in.
yeah, they're there. They're here already. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So it's just like how I pretty much created a CRM for my company. And it just comes down to how much time do you have as the individual to invest in your own business. Um, I have a small little moving company. I have, we have moving force. We have so much going on that at the end of the day, do you want to pay for all these systems? You
Yeah, it
can't.
gets
It could be
expensive.
cheap. And it's nothing wrong with it. It's an investment, it's ROI.
Yeah,
Or you can say, hey, you know what? None of these systems have what I am really looking for. And that's the honest truth when you come to it down to it. When you go from CRM to CRM, you upgrade
yeah.
from, you start at the basic entry package and you say,
And
hey,
that's where I'm at right now. Yeah, because you don't want to go all the way in, but as you start to go, you see they put the one feature you really need on the highest tier package, right? So it's like all the other stuff is basic, but that one thing I need is the $300 a month, and it's like I'm not ready to make that commitment yet because I don't either have the cash flow or just money's not coming in or what have you. Or some people don't understand the true value of having a CRM, so they look at the 300 and say, oh, that's just too much money. I wouldn't spend that, blah blah blah. But where I'm at right now, I think I'm paying whatever I'm paying right now, right? So I'm looking at it, I'm saying every time I turn around, there's a new feature, something comes up. So I'm like, man, I gotta, get that. Do I really need that? And then I try to think like, well, will it make it life easy for the customer? So things of that nature, you just have to consider as as you building out the CRM, and as you're building yours out. We've seen features in there that just make sense from a moving perspective, right? We know what numbers to look for, etc. But you hop into something else, doesn't quite give you, what you need, like you said. So it's definitely, definitely
exactly. And
challenging.
again,
Yeah.
you're chasing around, like you're doing so much Google research to like, what
Yeah.
CRM fits what I'm
Yeah.
doing,
Yeah. Even with
because
Zapier and all the integrations, API, sometimes you still can't get it, just dialed in just right,
yeah, so so again, Corey, if you're looking for a CRM, you know who to reach out to. I got you,
Oh yeah. Oh
Uh,
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh,
so and that goes for any of you. If you're looking for like just a little simple CRM, Google Sheets or something like that, nothing crazy. I'm never, I respect all of the industry CRM leaders. So sorry, yeah, we got a little cough here. But so I respect all y'all little y'all CRM leaders. But for those that are just, so at the level of not going into the advanced technology, mainly the older people, but reach out. Definitely got some CRM templates or so like that from Google Sheets that you can kind of implement. But as you grow, I definitely recommend automating the system.
oh yeah.
It saves you so much time.
As quick as you can.
Um, you know, and hold on. Oops. Okay. Yeah, so it saves y'all so much time and sends out emails for y'all, sends out text messages for y'all. And I'm talking about the big
And
C.
the importance of the dashboard, because when we were looking at yours last week, just that I don't think they understand how critical that dashboard is with the KPIs and the numbers that you need to look at on a daily basis, right? So
Mhm.
that is, by far the most critical piece that you need. You need to be able to hop in, just see that dashboard. What do we got coming in? What's going out? How many, customers do we have, etc. So you can make a quick decision as a business owner, if you see, something's starting to fall by the wayside. So, especially in the moving industry, right? For example, the slow seasons, right? As you start to pick up, if you see that, oh, we got more, jobs, more calls coming in, maybe we can kick a little more to marketing, or maybe we can turn marketing down right now because we see that, without increasing our marketing dollars, more jobs are coming in or more calls are coming in. So that dashboard is critical for you to make a quick decision, because that's, like I said, that's what happened in my moving company. And kind of what caused us to go down was, I didn't have all of that in the beginning, so I couldn't see that. I was charging way too low amount for two guys in a truck, right? So industry standard was like 600 minimum. I'm doing like, $100, an hour out the door, right? So of course I'm gonna lose money. I didn't have a minimum in place, but had I had all of that set up in the dashboard, KPIs, I could have looked and said, oh, we didn't meet our revenue target this month based on, whatever. And then we could have
Mhm.
made adjustments. So just little things like that. But yeah, dashboard is definitely critical for a business owner, entrepreneur. You got to be able to quickly see those numbers and, make judgment calls where needed.
Number 3, make sure your team is in uniform, they're groomed, their hygiene is checked, because that's the worst thing you could do, especially going in a house. Customer can smell your guy from a mile away, and now, again, their mood is just thrown off. So make sure that you guys are in uniform, you're tight, you have uniform shirts, it doesn't look like, you have a laborer that's, hired from off the street. Presentation is everything that goes towards your first impression. Number 4, introduce both you and your partner when greeting the customer. Don't just go to the door by yourself, while your driver is unloading the truck, and introduce yourself. Actually have both of you there. Introduce yourself first, then introduce your partner second, and then, allow them to welcome you into their home.
Yeah, definitely. No, and that makes a lot of sense. Items. So there's a report in QuickBooks if you all are using QuickBooks to do your financials. And if you are specifically doing your invoices and itemizing your invoices to the right columns, there's definitely a good report that you can use called it's like itemized by itemized by detail or something like that. And
Yeah,
basically
yeah,
what
yeah.
it
I know what
does
you're talking
is
about.
it allows you, and I used to do this when I had a lot of time on my hands. After a while, I kind of just let the system QBO do its thing. But we used to have a report where basically if you sold X amount of two-man jobs, X amount of three-man jobs, a travel fee, credit card fees, truck fees, you can actually see every line item and where revenue was going.
Hmm.
And that was sweet because you're like, oh man, okay. So we sold a quantity of 32-man jobs,
Hmm.
quantity of 23-man jobs, and and on. And these are
Yeah.
some examples. But you can see like, okay, so most people are buying my two-man service, but not so much my three-man
Three
service.
man, yeah, yeah, and then yeah, perfect example with that too is marketing. So what I would do with marketing, because you remember we had what was it, Billy.com, a couple of the
Hmm.
other leads, Angie leads, and things like that. So what I did in QuickBooks is I created a category called marketing. Nothing went there particularly, and then underneath that was each individual marketing platform that we paid dollars to. So that way we could track it against each month. So we would just come in, hit a button, drop down. There's all of our marketing, places that we're spending dollars. And what we found was Angie's lead surprisingly somehow was producing the best ROI for us. So we were spending about $3 to $4 grand a month, and they were bringing us about 15 to 20 grand a month. So not looking at those numbers, I used to think, man, Angie's lead sucks because of the way you get the leads and stuff like that. They would come in, it would take a while to get back to them, etc. But looking at the numbers, looking at the data, Angie's lead produced the most. I thought Billy produced the most because they gave me the cheapest leads, but they produced the most leads, and those leads weren't really, converting. So I think the leads were what $3, $5 a lead or something cheap, but you would get a lot of leads, and a lot of them would just be, bad leads, right? So, well, not like bad leads, but compared to Angie's, list, the ROI just wasn't there compared to what we were paying on Angie's. So,
Yeah. No, and that
yeah,
makes sense. Um, Again, this goes into reporting. So, like, if
yeah,
you guys get a CRM and you look at your marketing ROI report, sometimes these developers
feelings,
for the
data
CRM
outweighs feelings.
are
Yeah,
just getting
data.
you a report.
Hmm.
And again, no shade. They have a really some of them have a really amazing system, but they don't put that much effort into their reporting
Yeah.
system.
Yeah. And then, like you said, they don't know exactly what to look for from a reporting perspective. So you always end up having to create your own Excel spreadsheet so you can get the numbers that you want. And then chances are you really can't, ask them to change their system specifically for you, because then they have to do it for everybody else. So, ideally, you do need a spreadsheet of your own where you can go in, pull that data that you need, and then just tweak it in your dashboard or your CRM, or, wherever you got it, where you can see it how you need to.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
pretty much what I would recommend from y'all, some of y'all may have already seen it if you're in my marketing training program. If you're not, I've posted it in older videos, but reach out if y'all interested in getting a marketing ROI report, and we can always talk about it. But nevertheless, you want to basically make sure that we did a 90-day ROI report
Yeah.
on
30.
every
Yeah.
lead. So
3 months.
I
Yeah.
would create a spreadsheet where it's like, hey, what is how many what's the lead provider in cell A? What's the how many leads did we get from this provider in the month of January? How many leads converted? How much revenue did we make per lead? How
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
leads were considered bad leads? And those will be
Yep.
my four main metrics. And then the formulas will come in after that for the next metrics. So I'm looking like, hey, what's the booking percentage? What's
Yep.
the cancellation rate? What's the bad lead percentage? And so on to get the information from those main four metrics.
Mhm.
And I would then measure this against 3 months. By the fourth month, which I'm not really counting the fourth month, I'll put a little space and I'll
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
what was my 90-day ROI? So I'll
Mm.
sum up how many leads I have for the 90 days, how many leads were converted, how much revenue I made, and kind of like what was the main thing I'm looking for is what was my marketing spend
Yeah,
percentage.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah, like I said with Angie's Leads, like I said, we were spending $3,000 to $4,000 a month. When I actually sat down and looked, I was like, "What the hell? How are we? Why are we spending this much?" Because as a business owner, every time you see that charge come out, you're like, "Man, it puts a little stress on you."
mhm.
But like I said, emotions over data, data over emotions. When I went and looked at the numbers, like I said, Billy.com was sending me leads, just repeatedly, and so we were getting traction, but not really getting the ROI. Like Angie's Leads. Angie's Leads was a little slower. The close time was a little longer because you were going through Angie's Leads and their process, and then you had to get them over into your system. But like I said, surprisingly, when you go back and look at the numbers, Angie's Leads was doing a great job. I mean,
Yeah, and you were
surprisingly, and
about you said 1,500 and you spent about four grand. So you
yeah,
were
about 3 to 4 grand.
about
So
around
yeah,
22 to
20.
23% marketing spend.
No, no, no. We were actually what was it? We were actually on. Where were we at? I want to say right at about 13. Our numbers were actually pretty good with Angie's Leads when I was looking at it. So we weren't too far off the mark. Had about 13 or 15 somewhere in there.
Okay. So
Yeah,
yeah, roughly it's about 27% marketing spend. So that's not bad. Ideally, lead providers do yield a higher marketing spend.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, absolutely, yeah,
But I will say you still want to set, for those that's listening, you still want to set a benchmark. So 26% is still readily high when you want your average marketing spend to be around 7%,
mm-hmm.
7 to 10% of your
Yep,
total marketing.
okay,
So
yep.
if you realize that 26% is coming from one lead provider, you're getting
You shouldn't be at
average
20.
of
Yeah,
all your leads.
yeah, you shouldn't be that. Yeah,
So you want to make sure you set the tone. Like postcards are normally going to be high. They're naturally high.
mm-hmm.
Third-party lead providers are naturally high. Where you're going
Yep,
to find your lowest is referrals, word of mouth, which is pretty much almost zero unless you got a referral program.
yeah. You got the next
Your
door. The
your
next door app
website
was pretty good. Yeah,
and your website is not even zero because your website is really if you got SEO, you got to factor that in.
mm-hmm. Yeah. Google
So
marketing.
exactly. Google marketing,
Mm-hmm.
Google ads, you got to
Yep.
factor that
Oh
in.
yeah, Google Ads. Yeah, yeah.
So you want to basically say, okay, for me, I would say, hey, I'm paying $2,000 a month for SEO.
Yeah,
I
you should bring
want,
in at least 12, 10 to 12,
yeah,
10
I
to
want at
12,
least
somewhere around there.
12 to 20 leads a month from my website. And I'm going to divide that 20 by the 2,000 and it may come out to 150. So it may say I pay 150 per lead.
Mm-hmm.
And now I can kind of know what my average spend is
Right.
per lead from the SEO website. So it's a
Okay.
lot, but it's one of those things where you need the reporting to report this
Yeah.
stuff.
To see anything. Yeah.
And again, you can, in most CRMs, you can go in the back end and you can say how much each lead source costs you.
Yes, some of them.
And then, like I said, you might need your own spreadsheet if you really want to get the real picture, because some of these
Yeah.
spreadsheets, some of these CRM marketing ROI report doesn't give you enough details. You just look at it and you're just like, oh, okay, it looks okay. And then you
Mm-hmm.
go into your next day's business.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So for me, I like to write it down. If I write it down, that means I'm going to remember it. I'm like, oh, okay, so May, this is how we performed in May. Okay, now I kind of have an idea of where I want to be for June.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But if I'm just looking at a stationary report and I get distracted by life, I'm going to be like, oh, okay, I'll get back to that. It looks all right though. It looks all right. Let me get back to
Mm-hmm.
it. That's thousands of dollars going out the window that you didn't catch.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, when
Absolutely.
you're spending, and again, for me, I was an average Joe. I was spending probably like, geez, I don't know, around $10,000 a month in marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm an average
Yeah.
Joe. You know, you got these guys that's
Yeah.
30 trucks deep.
All right, guys, my name is Brandon. I'm with Max Move Management, and here's 11 steps on how to have a perfect move. The first one, the office should call, or your dispatcher should call the customer 2 days prior to arrival. The reason for this is just in case the customer has a closing on the house, maybe they weren't able to secure, a babysitter for the child or a pet sitter. You definitely want to call 2 days in advance. This helps the customer be prepared, and you make sure that you as well know that you're going to a customer that's also prepared. 2, the crew should also call the customer prior to arrival to the home. After the guys have already geared up, you got all your equipment in your truck, you got your address punched into your GPS, go in and either the driver or the helper, give the customer a call or a quick text, let them know that you're en route to your location, and provide them with the ETA. This also sets the expectation for the customer to be back home just in case they want to drop their kids off to school. For the third one, look to keep the customer happy, break the ice in the beginning. So pretty much this means when you walk up to the house, knock on the door with your best mannerism that your mother taught you, or father, you knock on the door, introduce yourself. Hi, my name is Brandon. I'm the foreman. This is my helper. And you introduce the team that you have with you.
Yeah. But I mean, like you said, it's all percentage based. So I mean, it doesn't matter what you're making, it's all percentage based. As long as your percentages play out, that helps you scale. So, like you said, if your marketing spend is, 20%, 26%, so, you need to figure some stuff out if you're paying that much in marketing and not, making your ROI.
Exactly. See if you can get it
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
in order to get it down, here's a trick. You have to reach out to the lead provider for one. They're going to tell you anything they're going to tell you anything you want to hear. So you got to
Yeah.
be very specific about what you're looking for. Reach out to the lead provider, inform them that, hey, what type of leads are you giving me? Oh, we're giving you all local leads from a minimum of £0, obviously. Well, it can't be zero, but
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah.
zero,
So the
we're
minimum.
going to say £0, for example, here, and all the way up to 20,000 pounds,
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case is. And you're like, oh, okay. Well, I want to tighten that up because I have a 3 hour minimum. So I don't want the 0 to 2,000 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
I
You need
want,
that minimum.
yeah, I want so I can get the most out of my jobs, and I can close as many deals as possible, because if I'm speaking to 0 to 2,000 pounds, those customers might not be interested in my 3 hour minimum.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yep.
want 2001 all the way up to 20,000.
10,000. Yep. I think that's what we did. We did the minimum. Yep.
And then they're like, okay, yeah, let us change the parameters. And then, is
Yeah.
there anything with your radius that you want to change? Great question. Yes.
Yeah.
I can't go everywhere in New York because New York is just
Right.
a huge state. So that's not all
Mm-hmm.
local for me.
Yep. And I'll tell
I
you one
want
other thing too,
to.
to do is just pay attention to that stuff daily, because you'll start catching little stuff here and there, as they start coming in, like the time of the day that the leads are coming in, specific type of leads that are coming in, etc. So like you have to look at that stuff every single day. It doesn't matter, if it's in CRM or your Excel spreadsheet. You got to watch that stuff every day, because that's how you catch the trends a lot quicker versus like, oh, I looked at it last week. I looked at it, a couple days ago. Now you got to look at it every single day so you can catch those small nuances, ahead of time before it becomes a problem.
Yeah, and that might even be like Corey mentioned, that might even be a thing where it's like, do you want to create a report where you can catch the time of day that most of your leads are coming in? So and
Hmm.
it'll be like almost like a bar graph
Yeah,
or a wave
yeah.
graph.
But even then, using AI, like so the best thing to do is collect all the data that you can, and then, like you said, you could use AI to parse that data and get the information that you're looking for. For example, like you said, if it's oh, well, these leads are coming in at this time, and calls are lasting for this amount of time. Oh, well, a lot of people at work, around that time, maybe we could shift when we do the call in, etc. So a lot of things that you can actually just sit back and just kind of meditate on and just think like, okay, what if we switch this up a little bit? Well, let me go through the workflow process that I created and see if it even makes sense for somebody else, right? So
Hmm.
little things like that, you just got to watch it every single day. Like I said, call your business once a week, just see what that looks like. For example, I'll give you a quick example. I know we're at time. I was calling a couple of contractors in the area, right? And everyone I called three or four phones just rung. Nobody answered. It went straight to voicemail. And I was just like, man, like, why? This is three of four, right? So I called the first three. Nobody answered. Nobody picked up. And then the fourth one, they had a call center in place. So somebody eventually picked up. But I'm just like, man, they just missed out on it because I'm trying to do bulk ordering. I'm trying to do large quantity orders. And that was three companies that just missed out because nobody answered the phone, right?
Hmm.
So
So if you guys, my biggest thing is having somebody to answer the phones.
the
You can
phone's
answer the phones
critical.
yourself if you got the time, but come on, you're
Yeah.
growing the business.
Yeah.
So,
You
you
shouldn't
know,
be on the phones. Somebody should be on the phones for you. It's just quick. Like if you set it up right, it's just quick. Hey, what do you need? What are you looking for, etc. The easier you can make it for them online, the easier it is when they call in, and you can get them that information and get them booked. But you got to make it easy for them when they call. The moving industry is quick, it's fast. If they call you and they don't get anybody, they're on the phone with somebody else in 2 seconds, and you just lost it because nobody picked up the phone. And
exactly.
that's happened multiple times, multiple
So
times. You
make
call
sure you
back and it's
guys, if you guys can't answer the phones and you guys don't want to get somebody trained up and hired or whatever the case is, get an AI
there you
auto
go.
responder.
Yeah, we'll call moving force.
Don't call us. We ain't a call center, but we will book moves for you. But nevertheless, if you guys are you moving owners are looking for more book jobs, and depending on which market you in, we are only looking for 3 to 5 moving competitors. So that basically we can bring you guys in jobs more exclusively. We're planning on racking in a bunch of jobs, not leads, actual book jobs that you guys can just accept, go out and do what you do. Reach out to us. We'd love to have you as a partner, and we grow together. So, all right, y'all, keep crushing it out there. I know we talked about a lot of reports today, but just replay this if you guys didn't get everything, and really start downloading on those reports. We got
Yeah,
some key reports that I would recommend that you at least have for your business, that if you definitely want, just put a message in the chat, and then I'll respond back with the key reports just to look at, because there are tons of reports. I had a CRM one time that had 30 different reports. For what? You you know, so there's key reports that you want to look at where you don't get overwhelmed, but you know where your business is. All right, y'all, keep crushing it. We will see y'all next weekend. And we love to hear what's going on with the industry. We are May 16th, so we are ooh,
yeah,
what
it's been started. Yeah, quarter the way in now.
yeah, we're
Yeah,
15 days into the 120-day sprint, y'all. So
yeah.
reach out. All right, y'all. Talk to y'all soon.
Later.